How you doing? How you doing? Anyway, welcome back to our channel. Today's video will be about, drum roll please.
That was terrible.
Today's video will be about my pregnancy story. This is actually the first time Amirra will be hearing this. She's never even, I never even talked to her about it, honestly. She just knows she exists.
Well, I know she got pregnant at a young age, and then I was born, and then life just went on.
And then here we are. Yes, so, she had been kind of asking, kind of sort of like questions about like how it all happened and like what happened, like how did people react and all that stuff. She kind of just wanted to know what my story was, and I feel like now that she's older, you know, she's a little bit more mature now to be able to, I guess, handle the conversation. So yeah, you ready to
just don't get too disgusting.
I promise. Trust me, I will spare you some of the details. Okay, yeah, I'll spare you some details. I'm not ready for that conversation yet. Okay. Anyway, all right.
Especially not on camera.
So I guess, excuse me. I guess we will start with a little bit of the background. So background, obviously I had Amirra when I was 17 years old. I found out I was pregnant at 16 years old. So yeah, so that was a lot. So how did I find out? So me and her dad, we were, back in the day, we, you know, we're dating or whatever. He would always come to my, you know, little softball games and stuff. So it was the summer of my 12th grade year, and me and your dad was like hanging out a lot, like a lot this particular summer, mainly because I was supposed to be on punishment. Okay, my mom punished me from the summer league softball team. So I used to play softball all through high school, and I don't know, I think I got like smart with her or something like that, and so she put me on punishment. My poor mom, she doesn't know how to punish any child. So I was on punishment, and I couldn't go to my softball games and practices and stuff, but her dad was allowed to come over the house, and we was allowed to go out and hang out. So what do they say about idle minds? You know, they just wander off and do things they ain't supposed to do, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, so me and him were hanging out, you know, a lot this particular summer, and all the girls and that, all of my friends, like majority of my friends, like they had already been like sexually active and stuff like that. But I not me, you know, because I was like the kind of kid that was like, yeah, I went out, I had fun, you know, I was wild and funny and free and like to do fun things, but I was really, really like into my education, like super into my education. Like I wasn't about to be dumb for nothing. Like I was one of those kids who was like, all of my siblings are gonna work for me, and I'm gonna be a CEO or a doctor of a company or whatever, you know, or a doctor or whatever, and I'm gonna live in this big penthouse, you know, with maids. And I didn't want to learn how to cook because I was like, and my mom used to hate that I didn't want to learn how to cook. I'm like, I'm not gonna learn how to cook. And she's like, well, Tramice, when you finally have kids, what are they gonna eat? You know, how are they gonna eat? And I'm just like, my kids are gonna eat salads. Like, so I was just like, I'm not cooking. Like
I eat salad.
She actually really loves salad, which is a crazy thing. She loves salad. She loves vegetables. Sit up. When she loves salad, she loves vegetables and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
It's a plus.
It's a plus. I never had an issue with her eating vegetables ever. Like,
just because you didn't force them down my throat.
I didn't have to. And they were good. Anyway, I did learn how to cook, actually. So, my mom forced me. Thank God. Okay? Thank God, even if I didn't want to. But anyway, so, yes. So, anyway, fast forward that summer, obviously. Didn't know I was knocked up. So me and your dad went to Olive Garden, of all places. Like, that's where we used to like to go or whatever. And so I would always get the same thing. I would always get like the salad, and I think I got Alfredo, like shrimp or seafood Alfredo, whatever. And so I get home and I'm just like, I feel sick. And I'm just like, and then so I get home and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna get a pink lemonade, because pink lemonade used to be my favorite. Pink lemonade by Minute Maid, bruh, bomb. Used to be my favorite drink ever. And so I go and drink a Minute Maid, and next thing you know, I'm running to the toilet like I'm puking my whole life out. And I'm just like, that's weird. Like I shouldn't be doing, like, why would I throw up off that? So then I think like a few weeks later, like, I was supposed to get my period and I didn't. And I was just like, that's weird. Like I shouldn't, like, not, why am I throwing up when I eat things in the morning and then I still haven't had my period? Like, oh my God, I must be pregnant. And I'm just like, but it's no way. Mind you, okay, I hadn't been like active or anything like that, but this is what your dad said, okay? And I'm gonna tell you now, boys freaking lie, bro. Like, take it from me. He's like, because I was all scared and worried. I'm just like, oh, you know, I don't want to get pregnant. You know, I don't want to, I don't want to catch an STD and blah, blah, blah with my young self. And I'm just like, because I had took sex education class in high school, so I'm just like, I know what happens. And I was frightened. I was terrified, okay? And I was like, I don't want to get pregnant. And he's like, relax, I know what I'm doing, I got this. Because he had already been doing stuff, child, a long time ago. He wasn't no virgin. He claimed he was experienced, okay? I don't know how experienced you're gonna be at 16, but he had experience. And I'm just like this young girl, like, I don't know. He talking about, I know what I'm doing.
Your brains was mush.
Bruh, I'm done.
Just kill, you did it with the wrong person.
Don't say that, Jesus Christ. Well, but anyway,
exactly.
But I mean, listen, we all been young and dumb before, okay? Clearly, that was just my young and dumb moment. I was just like, okay, he
that
said,
was a huge young and dumb moment.
Okay, he said he know what he doing. I literally put my life in this man's. He wasn't even a man at that point. At this young man's hands, and this child, adolescent, teenager's hands. I put my whole life in his hands and said, well, he said he know what he doing. So, okay. Don't believe that ever, okay? Please don't. If a man ever tells you that, or a man or a woman ever tells you that, well, not a woman, but a man or a boy or a teenager, I mean, whatever floats your boat. But anyway, man, woman, teenager, anybody. If anybody ever says, like, don't worry, I know what I'm doing, run, okay? Just don't. I don't even know what the situation may be. It don't matter what the situation may be. If they ever be like, don't worry, I know what I'm doing, I got this. Yeah, no. If you got a bad feeling, just don't even do it, sis. Anyway, because I definitely had a bad feeling, and I was just like, I don't know, but okay.
You told me to stick with your gut, but you didn't stick with your gut.
I didn't, actually. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I didn't stick with my gut, but now I've learned I'm never straying away. If my gut say no, I ain't doing it. Period. Okay, I've been burned plenty of times by not sticking with my gut feeling. But anyway, so obviously we're gonna skip all that other stuff. Fast forward, but back to when I was puking my brains out in the toilet. And so I really just thought, I was just like, you know what? I think I might be pregnant. It's no way like this. It's whatever. So I called your dad and I told him, I was like, I don't know. I think we need to go to the store and get a pregnancy test, but I'm too scared. So he went to CVS. Well, we walked to CVS. We used to kind of like, we used to skip school. So, you know, so we skipped, like, so how we would skip school, which I probably shouldn't tell you, but you're homeschooled anyway, so I don't know how you're gonna do that. But
never not go to high school.
well, yeah, that's true. But so we drove. I would drive my car to school in Portland because we lived down the street from my high school. So I would drive my car to the school, and park it, and then I would walk. I would walk to like the back way to like behind the school. Like I can't really explain it. Like this back road behind the behind a housing community or community or whatever, the neighborhood. And so your dad would drive around and pick me up back there in his dad's car. Which one, I should have knew he was lying, because one, he told me that he had a license. He didn't. Okay, he was picking me up with no license. He didn't even have a learner's. I don't even think, or maybe he just had a learner's. But he said, I don't even think he had a learner's. I don't know, but he told me he had a license, and I was just like, okay. I don't know why I was so dumb. But anyway, and then he was still in his dad's car. He wasn't even asking him. So your grandpa worked overnight. And so in the daytime, obviously, he sleeps. So
He still does.
Hmm?
He still does.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So he in the daytime, obviously, he's sleeping. So Moses would wait in the daytime and take his keys and take the car. And then he would come pick me up. He had this old Toyota, bro. Like
The red one?
no, it was.
Oh.
It didn't even have a color. Like that's how old it was.
It was gray.
And it was loud. It was like. It was terrible. Anyway, but anyway, so yeah, so he would come pick me up, not knowing like if we got pulled over, like, bro, we going to jail for truancy because he ain't even got no license. Like I'm riding a car and I'm supposed to be in school. But anyway, so yeah, so he went to the store for me. We walked, when I got to his house, we walked down to CVS because CVS at the end of his street, and so we walked down to CVS and we walked back. And I was so freaking scared. I remember walking back to his house to take the test. And so we take the test. Well, I went to the bathroom. I went straight to the bathroom, took the bag with me because we didn't want his mom to see either. Because his mom stayed home. His mom was like, stay at home. I don't see how, like, she didn't think he was supposed to be in school. I don't know why we were always at his house. And, like, it, like, wasn't a problem. But you know what? At that time, like, I just didn't understand Spanish, so she could have very well been saying, like, you need to be in school or whatever. But
he did.
He did. What?
He knew Spanish.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like, so he probably could have been speaking to her. Like, they probably could have been arguing together, like, and talking. And, like, saying, like, he's saying, like, you know, Mom, we don't have school today or whatever. But she's like, why aren't you in school? You know, she could have been having that conversation with him. I just wouldn't know. So I'm thinking like it's cool for me to be over there. Like I wouldn't never knew. Anyway, so yeah, so yeah, I take the test in his bathroom, and I'm waiting, and I look, and it's positive, and I'm just like, what? I'm like in shock. So I put the test in the bag, and I run upstairs, and I say, just go like this. I thought you said you knew what you were doing. That's what I said. You said you knew what you were doing. And so I wish I had something. Say this is the test, right? He just goes at the test and he's just like this. He's like just staring. And I'm just like, and I said, staring at it ain't gonna make it change. I thought you said you knew what you were doing. I was so mad. So mad. And then he just had his stuck face. He was like, I think he was just in shock. Like, I don't even remember him saying anything. He was
No, hell, he probably didn't.
I don't think he did. If he did, it probably was anything like, like, or something like that. Like, what? Like, something dumb. I'm sure he said something stupid. But anyway, so my first instinct was, because at the time, my sister, my older sister, lived literally like if we were in a car, it would be like 1-2 minutes away. She lived up the street from him. Really? But it was like a 5-minute walk. Yeah, she lived in an apartment. You know the apartments that they were living in, the Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Aunt Ebony lived.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was literally like 5 minutes from his mom's house if I walked. So I literally took all my things and I was just like, I'm telling my sister. And so I called my sister. I was just like, are you at home? And I'm all like distraught and whatever. She's like, yeah, what's wrong? I was just like, I got something to tell you. I'm coming to your house. And so I walked all the way there, like pissed, and like I didn't say 2 words to your dad. Like I was so upset because I'm just thinking about like my whole life. Like just like this Negro literally just got me pregnant. I couldn't believe it. So anyway.
You can't say that.
What?
You can't say that in word.
I said Negro.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It means the same thing.
Ninja. Okay. This ninja.
It means the same thing.
Ninja does not. It's a ninja. N-I-J-A. I need to redeem myself. See, you got me distracted. N-I-N-J-A, bro. Like, what? Okay, I can spell. Trust me. Anyway, okay. So, stop shaking your leg. Anyway, so I'm walking up the street to my sister's house. And so I go in the room. I go in their house or whatever. I'm knocking on the door and I'm literally like sobbing. Okay, I'm sobbing at this point. And I can't even say it I can't even say it. I just pull out the pregnancy test, and once again, mind you, I took the pregnancy test with me. I don't know why I'm carrying around this pissy stick. But I took the pregnancy test with me. And I go, once again. I have no words. And she's like, what is this? And we're just like, She was like, oh, hell. Like, she's like, what in the, mind you. Okay, so clearly you guys know that Amirra and Angel are both 12. She had just came out and told everybody that she was pregnant too. So my sister was already pregnant, okay, at this time. So I think this was...
Please took all the attention away from her?
No, literally like 2 months, like a month or... I think it might have been like a month or 2 later, like after she announced it. Like, so...
Really? That's close.
You got... Your birthday's in April. Her
That's
birthday's
4
in
months.
January.
That's 4 months away.
Well, you came early. You got to think about that. You were a preemie. Well, just a month, but...
So then who came first?
Angel!
I came early. When am I supposed to be born?
May.
Okay.
Anyway. Yes. So anyway, so I go tell her, she's just like, well, Chamise, I'm gonna call a clinic and we're gonna make an appointment. So she goes into like full blown like protective sister mommy mode, and she's just like, what the hell? Like, she's like cursing me out. Not really cursing me out. She's being sympathetic with me, I think, or empathetic with me, I think. But like, she was like kind of like cursing out Moses. Not really cursing him out. Like, she was just like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, what the hell? And so
so like cursing you both out.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, not really. But she's like she understood. Like, she
That's because she was pregnant at the time. That's because she was pregnant too.
I guess so. Hey, we both was pregnant out of wedlock. Neither one of us was married. I just so happened not to graduate high school, so I hadn't graduated high school yet.
Was she married when she had the girls? The twins?
By the time twins came? Yeah, she was married. But anyway, this is not her story. This is my story.
I was just asking a question.
Okay, anyway. So my sister makes an appointment, and so I think we ended up getting an appointment at the clinic at the pregnancy. It was a Christian pregnancy clinic, and it was in Bowie. It was in Bowie, Maryland, like by the movie theater. And so anyway, we go there, whatever, and they call my name back, and I'm like just sitting in the waiting room, super scared at 16, mind you, I'm 16. Super scared. My sister goes in there with me. I'm like, Emily, can you go with me? Blah, blah. I'm super scared. And like, so I go in the back, and they have me, pee in a cup. Here, pee in this cup. And so I'm like, okay. And then I'm waiting in the patient room, and they come back. They're like, yeah, you're pregnant. And I was just like,
They said it like that?
yeah. They were like, yeah, you're pregnant. You know, here's a pamphlet. They gave me like this little pamphlet. Here's a pamphlet. You have options, okay? And it was like an adoption, like pamphlet, like for adoption. I think like, it wasn't an abortion in it. It wasn't like any options for abortion or anything like that.
Did you think about an abortion?
Yes, I did actually, if I'm going to be honest. I did. Because I just thought, I'm 16. Like, I wanted to go to college. All of my plans up until this point were to go to college. Like, boys weren't even like on my brain. Like, I'm like,
radar
at all. And then here he comes, swooping in, child. Because I'm just like, what? Where did you even come from? But like, I don't know, like it just wasn't in my plans. And so I did think about getting an abortion. I was just like, I can't have a baby.
You was gonna get rid of me?
Thank God I didn't. I wouldn't have got rid of you. Honestly, I think I would have felt bad. I don't think I would have been able to go through with it. You know what I mean? But I did think, I can't lie to you. I can't say that I didn't think about it. Of course, I thought about it. I was 16. Sorry. I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings too much. But
I mean, it does hurt my feelings.
But you're here now.
I was here, but I wouldn't be if you would have gone through with the abortion.
But I didn't. Let's live in the now. Okay.
Well, now we're in the then.
For now. we getting it. We getting it. Bear with me, child. Bear with me, child. Okay. Anyway, but yeah. So and I also thought about adoption. Honestly, I was just like, I can't take care of a child. I am 16 years old. Like, I don't know. But then the thought of doing adoption really just wasn't for me either, because I knew that if I carried you full term just to turn around and pass you off to somebody, probably would have killed me. Literally would have killed me. I don't think I would have been able to handle it. Honestly, it would have killed the person who I was, because I don't know. Even though, and as scared as I was, eventually I got to a point where like I loved you before you were even born. Like, I was so obsessed in love with you before you were even born. Like, I just wouldn't have been able to do it. Anyway, so okay, so I get the positive results from the clinic back, and my daughter, and so Ebony, you know, was like, we gotta tell mom. And I'm just like, mm-mm.
You gotta wait till you actually have the baby.
I said, no, we can't tell her. We can tell her later. I don't want to tell her right now. No, please don't tell her. And so I'm like, don't call her, please. I'm like begging her, don't call my mom. Like, don't call. Because me and my mom, me and Nene, we never had the sex conversation. We never had that conversation. She didn't even think that I was having sex at that point. Like, because technically I kind of wasn't. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't doing anything. So, not like that. But, and so, you know, I didn't want her to call, whatever. She called her in the car when we were driving. I was in the back seat, and I was just like, I can't believe she's calling. She's a snitch. Like, I was so upset. I was like, she's snitching on me, bro. She just want me to get in trouble. Because she always used to say, you don't never get in trouble. I got in trouble for everything. Like, she always used to say that. So I thought she was just being petty and trying to snitch on me because I got pregnant. I don't know why I thought that was like a stab in my back, but I was just like, bruh, how could you snitch? Like,
that's like, because you literally begged her not to tell.
I literally begged her not to tell. Yeah, because I knew I was just going to take care of it. I don't know how, but I was going
you
like,
was going to hide me forever.
I was going to take care of the situation. Like, nobody would ever knew. I don't know how that was going to work, but I don't know how. I don't know how I thought I was going to handle the situation and how I thought nobody would find out.
You're going to keep me in a tower like Rapunzel?
I don't know. I don't know what the plan was. The plan wasn't to tell my mom. I'll tell you that much, because I just knew. Her version of sex conversation was, you have sex and I'll kill you. That's it. In this discussion, you have sex, I'm gonna kill you. That's it. So clearly, why would I tell her?
Because you don't want to be dead.
Exactly. I would never tell you this. Anyway, So yeah, so okay, so we get to the house and I'm trembling at this point. I'm just like shaking. She drives me straight from the clinic straight to my mom's house, and I'm just like, this is traumatic for me. Like, bro, like I'm going from one, like I find out I'm pregnant at your dad's house, then go to my sister's house. She takes me to the clinic, and from the clinic I found out I'm for sure pregnant, and go to my mom's house. And I'm just like, this is too much. And so by the time we get to my mom's house, I don't even think I had the pee stick anymore. I don't think I had the
pregnancy test.
Yeah, I used first response.
Did you say a pee stick?
Yeah, because you have to pee on it.
Well, it's not a pee stick.
It was pissing at that point because I pissed all over it. But I used the first response, bro, and them drinks is accurate, clearly. But
they are
very. And so so I go to the house. Well, we get to the house, and mind you, your dad's been with me this entire time. Mm-hmm. Like, so he rode in the car. You know, he went to the clinic with me. He went to and so, but I think in the clinic it was a women's only clinic, so he had to sit in the car. So he didn't go inside the car, and so I mean inside the clinic.
You didn't go in the clinic.
No, Ebony did because it was a women's only clinic. And so when I told him in the car,
did he want to go?
Huh?
Did he want to go?
I mean, he was in the car.
Did he want to go?
To go in?
Yeah.
I'm sure he did, but I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, so, your dad was pretty decent up until that point. but anyway, so, where was I again? Sorry, I keep losing track.
You're at Nini's house.
Okay, so we pull up to Nini's house, to my mom's house, and we go, like, my sister had already, like, pre-called her. It was like, you know, we need to have a family meeting. We need to tell you something. Me and Tracy need to tell you something. And so she's just like, what? Because she was already, like, not annoyed, but she just be like, what in the world do y'all want? I'm relaxing and messing up my one day off, because my mom worked a lot, okay? She was always working. And so anyway, so, you know, we go downstairs. We go downstairs to our family room, and I will never forget this, okay? This was the most dramatic part. We go downstairs to the family room, and my mom comes downstairs, and then so she comes downstairs first by herself. And so my sister goes, Mom, we gotta tell you something. And she's like, go ahead, Tremise. And I look at her like, what do you mean? And I just immediately start crying. I'm just like, ah! Like I didn't even say words. Like no words came out of my mouth. I immediately started crying. And my mom was like, what? What's wrong? And I'm just like,
You said I over and over again?
And started crying again. Like bawling, like sobbing. And so my sister goes, Tremise is pregnant, Mom. And and she said, what? She's like, what? Wait, what y'all talking about? Stop playing. Like, what y'all talking about? Tony! Like, so she starts calling my stepdad. Tony! Come downstairs! Tony! She starts hollering my stepdad's name. And, like, it's to come downstairs. And he's like, what, Tina? What? You know how he does, right? And he's like, what, Tina? What is it? And then she said, and my mom goes, go ahead, Tremise. I don't know why everybody wanted me to say everything. I'm like, why you want me to tell them?
I was pregnant.
And then, why was it my responsibility to say something? I couldn't function, clearly. I don't know why they wanted to take me. But anyway, so she said, go ahead. Tell your father what it was. Tell your father what it was. And what you said. And I just said, I couldn't, like that whole time, like I said no words. Like this entire, like, interaction, I said no words. And so here goes your dad. Tremise is pregnant. And he goes,
worse.
Right? He said, what nigga? Mind you, at this point he was standing, so he came down, but he was still standing on the steps. And so when your dad went, Jamise is pregnant, and then he goes, what nigga? So he takes a step down the steps. He takes a step down the steps. Mind you, her dad is not black, clearly. Her dad is Hispanic.
Yeah.
He's El Salvadorian. And so he called him the N-word. And that's just not even a thing. And so, yeah. I'm laughing hard because you weren't there, but it's hysterical. It was hilarious. Now it's hilarious. Back then, it was traumatic. And I'm making matters worse because what am I doing? Sitting in the chair, still sobbing, like crying. Now, at this point, once he said...
You made it worse for him.
Once he said, what nigga, to him, I just started, like, crying even louder and harder. So now I'm just like, ah! And I'm like really crying really, really loud and really, really hard. And so my sister comes to me and she's like trying to make me feel better. Meanwhile, I'll catch Grandpa Tony coming in like full speed ahead to your dad. And now Moses stood up and like they get ready to fight. And like so, like Tony was pissed. He was pissed. He was so upset that I was pregnant. Like he was like, all you hear is like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. and then so Antoine, Angel's dad, Antoine was there too. And so Antoine, thank God he was there because it wasn't no holding nobody back. We, like us, first of all, I was distraught, okay? So it wasn't no, wait, stop, no. I was still crying, okay? Ebony was consoling me. My mom was just standing on the steps like this. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all lying. Stop playing. She's still talking about stop playing. Meanwhile, I'm still over here crying.
You're sobbing.
She was like, stop playing. Y'all stop. Stop playing. Like,
it sounds like her.
Right? And her hand is still here, okay? Her hand is right here the whole time. Hands on her hip here. And then the other hand right here on her forehead. Like, stop playing. and so, okay. And then meanwhile, Tony and your dad is getting ready to like fight. And so Antoine jumps in the middle. It was just like, whoa. Now at this time, Antoine wasn't the size he is now, okay? He was much bigger. He used to be a little thicker. He ain't, he wasn't skinny like he is now. And so,
really?
Yeah.
You gotta call him like that?
Sorry. He lost too much weight. But anyway.
Call him again.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll blank it out. Okay, so he's like trying to hold Tony back, and Moses just like, I'm sorry. He's like, I ain't mean to. What's up though? But like, your dad was like such a hothead. Like, he didn't care who it was. If it was time to fight, he was gonna fight.
Sounds like me.
Huh?
Sounds like me.
Probably. But he didn't care what time. What? He didn't care what time it was, but he was like, all right, Tony gonna fight me then. I guess that's what it is. I gotta fight her dad, bruh. Like, that's what it is.
What was your stepdad?
I don't even know how the situation even calmed down. Honest to God. But in the end, like, he finally sat down. Like, Tony finally sat down. And was just like, what the F is y'all gonna do? And I'm just like, I don't know. And so, my mom, she's just like, well, pack it up. Let's go. Tony, get the keys. We about to go. Did your daddy know? And he was like, no. And mind you, we never even got a chance to tell his parents. We started at his house. We never told his parents. So, of course, my mom rounded us up. We all got in the car. Meanwhile, I'm still like... And on my way up the steps, I'm just like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. And I just knew she was going to kill me. She had no words. She was just like, Jamise, just please. I can't. Okay? I can't. I'm just like...
I bet she just found out her teenage daughter is pregnant.
At 16.
At 16, not even 17.
Right,
16.
I haven't even graduated high school yet. Like, bro, I'm still in school. But anyway.
Hey, you turned out to love me, so.
But anyway, so I'm just like, let me go get my things. And I'm like, nah. and then so we get in the car, you know, we go to your dad's parents' house to tell him. And so mind you, your dad's parents, they don't, so her grandparents at the time didn't speak a lot of English. Like her abuela, her grandma did not speak English at all. Her dad, the dad though, like your grandpa on her dad's side, he did speak English, but
Wasn't good?
it was good. You know, it was really good. He spoke, you know, decent enough good English, I think. I mean, to me, obviously over the years he's gotten much better, but you know, but still, they weren't. English wasn't their native language. Like, they were immigrants who came here. But anyway, legally, by the way, they're legal immigrants, huh?
They're immigrants?
Yes, they're immigrants. Yes. So, okay, so we make it there, and he's like, he rounds up like him, and he has like, so your dad is the oldest of all your aunts and uncles. And so they all come, and like, they all see, like, I don't even think they've ever seen my mom before. I think that was the first time.
Really?
Well, no, I think they met.
Did
No,
she
they
look
did.
crazy?
Girl, probably. But
They had a bad first impression.
but
Especially when you're
I don't think that
pregnant.
was the first time though, because I think she met them one time when she came to pick him up to take us to church. Yeah. And so anyway, so everyone's gathered in the house or whatever, in the living room at your abuela's house. And so my mom's like, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. Tell your parents. Tell them, Moses. Tell them what happened. And so he goes, Jermise is pregnant. And then next thing you know, my mom like breaks out crying. She's just like, ah. So now she's crying. And then so she's crying, so then I start crying. I'm just like, ah. So me and my mom are crying. Like sobbing crying. Like to the point where y'all Bella had to hold her. Like she had to hold and hug her, like I don't know what they're gonna do. They're so young. Like it was dramatic. It was dramatic. They're like, okay, so she's crying. Her grandma is holding my mom. Like, his mom is holding my mom, and they're crying together. And, like, his dad was like, what you gonna do? You have no job. He was like, but it was like, they took it much better than
Yeah, clearly.
like, my parents did. Because, like, I don't know
Grandpa
why.
totally clearly wanted to fight him. But then, his dad was like talking about real life stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. He was just like, well, you gotta get a job.
Did he get a job?
Yeah, he got a job. And
Where?
so, huh?
Where? At the store?
At this place called Rave. It's this store in the mall. This place called Rave. Actually, he was already working there, I think, because he used to buy me clothes from there.
Was it nice clothes?
Yeah, they used to be cute.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was already working. He might have already been working there. And so he was like, yeah, you need to get a job. You got to pay me rent. It was like, you're an adult now. Like, at this point, you know, you're an adult.
You have a baby, so you're an adult.
Yeah, so he was just like, oh, well, pretty much.
My dad?
No, your dad's dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did my dad say?
Huh?
What did my dad say?
He was like, I know. And then your abuela called him stupid. He was like, you stupid.
He was.
You stupid.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I know, man, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm just saying, blah, blah. Like,
There was a lot of, I'm just saying.
Listen, okay, it was just a lot of, and then they started speaking Spanish, and I don't know what happened after that. Like, because I was still crying anyway, so it didn't really matter. And so anyway, that was, all of that happened in one day.
Really? I just told grandma. I just told grandma.
So that was one day, and that literally took up the entire day. And so after that, geez, this is gonna be a long video. And so after that,
It's a long story.
Yeah, my mom called me a doctor, called the doctor because she was just like, are you guys sure that she's pregnant? I don't know why she's asking after the fact, after we went through all of this of telling our parents. Literally.
Went to the whole clinic.
And I went to the clinic. But she was just like, I just want to make sure. So she called me an emergency appointment at Kaiser. And she made me an appointment. And to get a pregnancy test at the OBGYN. And that was my first.
What's the OBGYN?
Obstetrician gynecologist. Like
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a doctor for women and pregnant women. For women, just say doctor for women specifically. Anyway, so she makes me an appointment there. I once again do another pregnancy test. They confirm it. They're like, "Yep, sis is pregnant." They roll in that ultrasound joint. They roll in the ultrasound, and
was I a bean?
You literally, when you came in, and my mom was just like, "Oh my God, she's pregnant for real." And they rolled in the ultrasound, and they took at this point, I was so early when I found out that, like, I couldn't even get the one on the stomach. Like, they stuck this rod up my hoo-ha, okay? And that's how they looked and saw.
Did it hurt?
No. I don't think so. They put a lot of juice on it. So it wasn't like real dry. It wasn't like dry like a tampon. Like, so it just slid in. They made it comfortable.
I've used a tampon before, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, they made it comfortable. Either way, it didn't hurt. It wasn't painful. So just a little like weird or uncomfortable. But anyway, so yeah, so and boom, there you were. Heard a heartbeat. Booga booga booga. I don't know if that's heartbeat, but
no, it's not.
But yeah, you were just like this big. You looked like a little
eyeball,
little egg. You literally looked like a little egg. I was like early on in gestation. So
did you cry again?
No, at this point I think I was in shock. I was just like really quiet. I would cry at night though, like in the bed. I would cry. Like,
that's depressing.
Well, once again, my life. Like, my life was literally took a sharp turn, okay? As I told you, my dream was to have a penthouse. I wasn't planning on cooking for no kids. Like, having a kid wasn't a part of my 10-year plan. Not even my 5-year plan. Not even my 30-year plan. I didn't know if I was even going to have kids.
You didn't want a kid?
I actually didn't think I liked kids, honestly.
But then you had a whole kid.
I mean, not on purpose, though. Why you don't understand that? Anyway, but I didn't even know if I was getting married, child. I didn't never dream of a wedding. My dream was never to have a wedding, never to have kids. My dream was making money, living in a penthouse, like I said. I didn't even know how kids were going to get here. I didn't think about getting pregnant, that's for sure. Like, I knew I was going to adopt children, though. I always wanted to adopt. That's one thing. I've always wanted to adopt children. Like, I never thought I would have.
I don't give some.
I never thought I would have children of my own. I always thought I would adopt. But anyway, so, after I got rich. But anyway, so, yeah. So, now I'm super duper confirmed that I was pregnant. And I just remember every evening, like, my mom, I guess me and my mom both had insomnia at that point. We were stressed. And so she would wake up in the middle of the night, go in the kitchen, and my room was like right by the kitchen, so I could hear her, and I would just get up and just apologize profusely. Like, I'm so sorry, Mom. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I did not mean to mess up this bad. Now, little backstory, my mom is actually a teen mom as well. She had my older sister when she was 18 years old. She got pregnant when she was 17.
1 year.
Yeah, and she had her by 18. So, just a year difference. So, I have one year younger than me. But the trend stops here, darling. She will not be having a baby at 15. That's a no for me, okay?
Who said I wanted a baby at 15?
Who said I wanted a baby at 16? But look, here you are in the flesh.
You could be already me.
Oh, that is just... What? Shut up. You about to go on punishment.
But anyway, what? It's a question.
No, that's not a question. That's just terrible. Why? No. Stop. You about to get spanking.
What?
Why would you say that? Anyway, so yeah, that's how I found out I got pregnant. And then oh, it was like the story, like, no one ever thinks about when you become a teen mom, like all the people you have to tell. So like I said, I played softball my entire high school career, and one of the other hardest things, like, it was no one else there to be able to tell my coach that I couldn't play, and so I clearly had to do it. And I'm just like, that was the first time I had to like say out of my mouth, like, I'm pregnant. Like, so I went to her in gym class, and I was just like, hey, Miss Bender, I have to talk to you. And she was like, yeah, what's up? So I pulled her to the side, and I was just like, I can't play this year. And I was like, and I can't come to conditioning. And she's just like, why? And I was just like, I can't, because I'm pregnant, so I can't play. And then she's like, are you effing serious? You just messed up my whole lineup. And I'm just like, I had my lineup. She's like, I had my lineup all together. I was like, I know, I'm so sorry. Here I go again, crying. Like, I felt terrible. Like, I telling my coach, I think, was like one of the hardest things, because I really, really loved softball. And I really thought I would maybe play in college or something, and like
get a scholarship.
Get a scholarship and stuff. But I loved the game of softball, like, to the point where even as I was pregnant, I would go out on the field. I wouldn't play. They obviously wouldn't let me on the field, but I would literally like go on the field and like watch the games. And meanwhile, I'm sitting on the line, on the sidelines, with my big pregnant belly. And then, like, by the time she was born, like, still softball season was like full-fledged. It was like, during my pregnancy, I literally craved like dirt. I don't know what that was about. Clearly I was missing a mineral, but like the smell of dirt was like amazing.
What?
I don't know. I guess I was just ready to go out on the field, bro. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna smell that dirt and get dirty, slime. Yeah. I don't know.
You're just rolling mud.
Why would I roll in mud? You just say the craziest stuff, bro. And you guys remember, this is my senior year, okay? So I'm pregnant my senior year of high school. Getting to school. Shout out to Richard Bentham, bro. You looked out, okay? I had terrible morning sickness, okay? This was the worst pregnancy ever, okay? Ever. Worst pregnancy ever. I wouldn't recommend it. Not the one I had. But I literally threw up every day. Like, every day. I think I literally had one or 2 months where I did not throw up, but I had morning sickness. I had morning sickness every single day. And so my first class was business, and I would be late all the time. And my teacher was just like, if you keep coming late to class, I'm gonna have to fail you. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm really sick in the morning. And like, she didn't care that I was pregnant. She was like, okay, you're pregnant, and so what? You gotta get to class on time. And I'm just like, but I can't, because I'm like pulling over, I'm sick, I can't drive, you know, blah blah blah. And like, so anyway, so she assigned me someone to come and pick me up. She was like, Richard, you're gonna be responsible for her. You make sure she gets to class on time. I don't know why she picked him out of all the random people in the world, but he was assigned to come pick me up from home. And so so I remember one time when Richard came to pick me up from school, and poor Richard, that morning I was having like a really rough morning, and he picked me up, and he would always ring the doorbell, whatever. He was so sweet. He was so sweet. Like, he was so nice. He would pick me up every day to go to school. And this one particular morning, like, I was having a rough morning, and he that morning, like, he knocked on my door, whatever, and I was just like, Richard, I don't feel so good. And at that point, I had already closed and locked the door. He was like, you're okay, you know. He would help me down the steps. Such a gentleman. He helped me walk me down the steps or whatever. And next thing you know, I run, like, I let him go. I think I dropped my book bag, and I ran to the side of the house. Literally ran to the side of the house. And I was like, ugh. So I literally threw up on the side of the house, and he was just like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, wiping my face. Yeah, I'm fine. I think I'm fine. After I finished throwing up, he was like, okay, Well, let me know if you gotta throw up. Now he was nervous for me to get in the car because he did not want me to throw up in his car. And so,
was it a nice car?
I mean, it was nice enough. It wasn't like a brand spanking new car, but it was like a nice car. He kept it clean. It was nice and tidy. I think he had a truck though. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had a truck. If anybody remembers Richard Bitham from high school, I don't know if Richard, maybe you're listening. Who knows? But if you had a truck, let me know. But anyway, but I think it was a truck, if I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah, I threw up. I threw up on the side of the house right before I got in his truck, and he was scared that I was gonna throw up in his car. And so, yeah, I mean, it was cool. But I think like when I was like 4, maybe 3 or 4 months pregnant is, like I said, I had a difficult pregnancy. So when I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant, I actually started going into labor early. So I was already dilated, I think, when I was like 5 months pregnant. By the time I found out the sex of the child, which was, you know, by the time I found out she was a girl, I was already dilated. And so they actually ended up putting me on bed rest because I actually worked too. Like, so I was in school and I actually found myself a job. By November, I was working. So school started in August. I think I found out at the beginning of August, and school started at the end of August. So I literally found out I was pregnant at the beginning, of the school year. And so by November, I had found myself a job because I remember getting a job right before my birthday. I was 16 at the time. I was just getting ready to turn 17, and if this would have been my first, one of my first job, my like second job, I think, as a waitress, and I was pregnant. And I guess he took that and was just like, yeah, we need a job. Like, so I first started off as a host at the front, and then at that job, so I was a hostess. Is it a hostess or a host? I don't know. I was a host at the front. So I would just basically, a host is when you like greet the person, you know, greet the people when they come, greet the customers when they come in, and then, you know, pick a chair, have them sit down or whatever. And so, you know, seat them and whatever. So I started there. I'm like basically the cashier, cash people out. And so, and then I went from that to being a waitress. Like after you were born, I started being a waitress because I was just like, look, I like being a host, but I need these tips because I used to see the waitresses come out, baby, making bank. Okay, they was bringing home like $100-$200 a day, like $200. To me, that was a lot. Okay, at 17, I was just like, it's
enough for your baby, diapers, food,
yeah,
and then food for you.
It was enough to keep us alive. I wouldn't say it was enough, but it was enough to keep us alive at the time. Okay, so yeah, so that's where I had my first job. And so I was working and going to school. And so I guess the stress of working, because working and going to school and being pregnant, I guess it caused like a lot of stress. And I was very stressed at the time. Obviously, I'm 16 and I'm pregnant and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so I ended up going into labor early. I had a really rough pregnancy. And so they gave me medications to like slow down the labor, pretty much stop it and pause it. And then they also put me on bed rest, so I couldn't work anymore.
Did you stay in the hospital?
Luckily, no, they didn't hospitalize me. So I was able to stay on bed rest at home. And so I was on bed rest for the remainder of my pregnancy, and I couldn't go to school. And so they would send home, I don't want to say a homeschool person, but like she was a lady. She would come. She wouldn't really teach me, but she would like come. But if I had questions, she would be the one to answer them. But she would also bring me my school. She would bring me my schoolwork and make sure, you know, my work got done or whatever and got turned in. And so she pretty much was like a caseworker, I guess, like a caseworker. And so that was assigned to me from the school, so that way I can continue school while pregnant. And you know what? But I'm going too fast because you know what? I remember in school they used to have like this pregnancy group. And so like it was like a group of us pregnant girls at the school, and they would call us on the announcement. And I remember the first time my name was called on that thing, and like everybody knew what it was. And then that's kind of like how people found out I was pregnant. That, and like my friends were telling people, not to name Patrice, but like my friends two other friends that I had, they were telling people that I was pregnant, and what I've heard, that's what I heard. That's the rumor. Rumor was they was out there spreading lies about me, child, but clearly it wasn't a lie. But anyway, yeah. So they, so I remember the first time I heard my name on announcements, and they were just like, Tremaine Scott, come down, stairs or whatever, come down to the nurse's office. Come downstairs to the nurse's office, and they would call us every day at the same time, and we would go basically like have parenting classes or whatever, but everybody knew what it was. And when I got up for the first time, everybody's like, you're pregnant? And I'm just like, please mind your business. And I just walked out. Like, I just walked out the classroom, super embarrassed. And I actually did have a friend in there though who was also pregnant, but I don't even think I knew she was pregnant at the time until I saw her in the class. It was a lot of people in there. Was a lot of girls in there that actually were pregnant, and that I didn't even know, like, because they were like disappeared. Yeah, like, and I didn't know why they would like stop coming to school, but it's because they had a baby. Yeah, I didn't know, but clearly I wasn't a part of that world. So, but when I got in, I was like, wow. So they would like teach us and tell us a lot of things, teach us about health insurance and stuff like that, like getting health insurance for the baby. You know what I'm saying? Teach us how to take care of the baby, like put on diapers and stuff like that. So they taught us all that stuff at the school before I got put on bed rest. That was like obviously before I got put on bed rest.
But I was gonna say you didn't put any diapers in your sibling, but then I remember you're the youngest. I was gonna ask you to put any diapers on your siblings, but then I remembered you're the youngest. No, I know how to change a diaper though. I used to babysit for Frida in a long time. Yeah, but yeah, girl, I was the best babysitter in town. But anyway, so yeah, that was that, and I got put on bed rest, and then so when I went into labor. You want to talk about that? Okay, so the day I went into labor, so I was in bed rest for, I felt like months. On bed rest. I feel like I was on bed rest for months, bro. Like, it was literally driving me crazy. So my room was like this blue. I don't even know how to explain. It was like not like a sky blue, just like this very, very blue color, like blue walls, blue carpet, and a white ceiling. Like, you would have thought you were like sitting in the sky. Okay, like like in the sky on a cloud. Like, and I had all white furniture, so it just drove me crazy after a while. And so like sitting in there, and I was so determined. Like, I wasn't able to walk. Like, I couldn't like go walk around anywhere. I couldn't do too much strenuous activity because I kept going into labor multiple times. Like, I went back and forth to the hospital all the time. I was in and out of the hospital, like with having to get IVs and this, one time I'm dehydrated, I'm this and that. Like, she literally was just sucking the life out of me, like, because I was vomiting every day. Like, I could not keep anything down. And so like I said, and I'm vomiting, I'm going into labor and all of this stuff. So it was rough. And I'm in and out of the hospital. So anyway, so the day, I was just over it. The day I won't even say the day. Well, technically it's the day I went into labor. I was just over it. And I was just like, I'm getting out of this house. I told her, Dad, I'm getting out of this house. I don't want to be here anymore. And so I went to the carnival. I was like, it's a carnival and I'm not missing it. I'm going to the carnival. And so I go to the carnival. Mind you, I'm not supposed to be walking, and what do? I'm walking around everywhere. I didn't get to get on rides, obviously, because I went that slow. Like, I ain't gonna get on rides. I'm not about to do that. I'm pregnant. What? You
but
want to give birth on a roller coaster?
Right. So I'm just walking around, walking around the carnival and playing games and eating my funnel cake and my cotton candy and stuff, and had a good time. Okay, let's go to that night when I got back home. So I go back home. And I lay down in the bed, and your dad lived with me, lived with us. Did I tell you that before? Yeah, so your dad ended up coming to live with us. When I think it was February of 2009, we actually got married. And that's the only way your mom would. Not your mom. That's the only way my mom would allow him to live with us. Excuse me. The only way my mom would allow him to live with us is if we got married. So we got married in February of 2009, which was the year she was born. So anyway, obviously the carnival was in April. So what was it? February, March, April. That was a month later. 2 months later. well, a month and some change. And so anyway, so that night we went to bed. We went to bed, and we went to bed, and like your dad is like knocked out, okay, like snoring, knocked out. And not mind you, and then mind you, it's not like we had a big bed, okay? We were sleeping in a twin, okay? Me and him both sleeping in a twin size bed, okay? So
bills don't get the way.
right. Well, it wasn't huge. I never got that to a point where I got to get huge. I never got to get like really, really big. Because obviously I was just a few months pregnant, and no one even could tell I was pregnant. I just looked like I had gained weight a little bit until like the end of it all. Then all of a sudden, like my stomach just popped out. I remember waking up one day and my stomach was just there. I'm just like, where did this come from? It was like, it came out overnight. Literally, like I was just like, what? And so anyway, so I remember rolling over and I could not sleep that night. And I just have an excruciating back pain. Like excruciating back pain. And I told your dad, I was just like, Mo, something's not right. Like my back really hurts. I think something's going on. Like something's not right. And then he was just like, just go to sleep. And I was just like, I can't go to sleep because it hurts really bad. He was like, well, just roll over on the other side.
Where's that gonna help?
I don't know. And so he stayed asleep. And so I just like continued to lay in the bed, suffering and in pain until the daytime. And when the morning came, my mom wasn't home. I don't know where she ended up going. I don't know. I woke up and she wasn't home. And I'm just like, at that particular day, Moses was supposed to go to school, and I literally begged him not to go to school. I was like, please don't go to school today, because today just doesn't feel right. Please don't leave me in the house by myself. And that was like one of my biggest fears. Like my mom would travel to Africa all the time, and I was like, one of my biggest fears was that she would be in Africa, or I would be home alone and go into labor, and I would have the baby on the kitchen floor. Like, so, or like in the house by myself and wouldn't know what to do. And so anyway, so I begged him to stay home, and he was like, okay. But that morning, I'm just like, yo, something's not right. Like, my back is killing me. Like, I keep having these sharp pains. Like, it goes and comes and goes and comes. So I'm just like, I think something's wrong. And so, in my true fashion, what do? Grandma to the rescue. So I walked down to my grandma's house. Me and my mom and my grandma didn't live far from each other. Literally, like, what is it, like 3 minutes from each other? I guess, like, literally walking distance, like almost like the same street.
If you're not pregnant,
it's practically the same street. Yeah, but it was a long walk for a pregnant person, short walk for a non-pregnant person. Yeah, so not thinking that walking will induce my labor even more, like it will just exacerbate it and make it go 10 times faster. So I walked, which I probably shouldn't have done. I walked to my grandma's house. I was like, I don't care. I'm not having this baby in this house by myself. I'm going to my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, please help me. And so I get here, and I was just like, Grandma, something's going on. Like, my back hurts really bad, and it's only up. She was like, girl, is you in labor? I said, I don't know, but my back hurts really bad. And so I go in her room, and I sit down, and I just remember tapping my foot. Like, I'm just like tapping my foot like, ooh, this hurts. And then like, I'm not like overly dramatic or anything. I'm just like tapping my foot like, ooh, it hurts. And then I'll stop. And then I'll tap my foot again like, ooh, this. And she was like, and my grandma was like, girl, your ass in labor. She was like, you better get your ass out of here, because I can't birth no baby. And at the time, my grandma's sister was living here at the time with them.
Aunt Ella lived here?
Aunt Ella lived here. Yeah, she actually lived in this room. And so she lived there at the time. So here she comes busting out of the room. Girl, where is your mama? And I said, I don't know where she is. She's not at home. And then grandma, of course, she cursed her out. Your mother ass always doing something. She always doing something. She better bring her ass over here, because you ain't gonna have no baby in this house. Blah, blah. You need me to call 911? And I said, no, don't call 911. And meanwhile, I'm just patting my foot away, patting away. And so grandma gets on the phone and calls Nene, my mama, and she's like, girl, if you don't get your ass over here in this child in labor. So, you know, Nene, she naturally drives fast, right? Mm-hmm. And so, So she flies over here. Like, I don't know where she was, but she probably flew from Jabloop. And I don't know where she flew here from Jabloop and got here in like 3.5 seconds. Like, and so she gets in the car. And so we all get in the car, whatever. She goes and gets my bag. You know, I think she got my overnight bag. And meanwhile, she's like recording. I don't know what. She like pulls out her camera or whatever. I don't even know if she's using her phone or recording. She's recording. Like, I'm just like, why are you recording me right now? Like, she's recording me walking to the car. Like, I have to ask her where these videos are. No, it was a camera. It was a video camera. It wasn't even a phone. Like, you could record on a camera. You couldn't do that, I don't think. Yeah, so it was a video camera she had. And so she's recording me.
Hopefully she didn't throw it away.
I know. But anyway, so she recorded me walking to the car or whatever, and so we get in the car and she's like speeding in this way, like she's speeding on the Beltway going to Silver Spring, because you were born in Silver Spring, Maryland, and so
Holy Cross.
Yeah, at Holy Cross Hospital, and so she's flying, hitting every single pothole there was on the entire interstate, like I'm just like. And I remember at a point I was just like, Mom, if you keep hitting more potholes, I'm gonna have a baby in the car. Like, slow down some. I was just like, I want to make it there. And I'm like holding on to the seatbelt. Like, help. Because she's like, boom, like flying. You would have thought like she had like the sirens on top the way she was flying. Like, you would have thought she had authorization to go that fast. Like, on the Beltway. Like, she was speeding.
Were they cameras?
Huh?
Were they cameras?
I don't know. But if it was, she got a ticket that day, okay?
Multiple.
Okay? She was like speeding through the thing and like hit it. And like, imagine, have you ever like hit a speed bump? I mean, not hit a speed bump. Well, yeah. Have you ever hit a speed bump and like, but you never hit the brakes? Like, you never slow down? That's how I felt when she hit the thing. It was just like, like that, and I just knew the baby was just gonna fall out at that point. I was just like, this baby finna fall out of my stomach on the Beltway. And I just like, we gonna have to call 911. I said, Mom, you have to call 911 because I've had this baby on the side of the road. If you keep hitting the speed bump, she's like, I'm sorry. She was like super high. She's like, I'm sorry. And I think she called my stepdad and told her like we were on the way to the hospital or whatever, so she had to meet us there. And so we get there to the hospital and the lady checks us in. Meanwhile, we had been there before a million times. And it's like, oh, well, we'll see, we'll see. We don't know if you'll stay, we might send you back home, blah, blah, blah. And so the nurse comes, gets me triaged, whatever. And then the doctor comes, and she's just like, oh, yep. You're dilated. You're far long enough. Yeah, but she's staying. I was just like, I'm staying. I'm staying because I had been there like 100 times before for going into labor, and then they ended up sending me home. They're just like, nope, no, baby. But this time they were like, you're staying. I'm just like, I'm laying there. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to have a baby. I'm scared. And so. Mind you, I couldn't even eat. Like, I didn't even eat. And they tell you when you get there, and I was starving because I didn't eat that morning.
So my dad was there the whole time? My dad was there?
Where? At the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the hospital the whole time. And so I'm like starving, and they're just like, yeah, well, no food. You can't have any food. And they bring in some freaking ice chips. I'm like,
ice chips?
What the heck am I gonna do with ice chips, bro? Like, this is not, like, no, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I ain't ate since yesterday. Like, and I think at that time, by the time I got to the hospital, I think it might have been like 2 o'clock, maybe. Like, maybe between 12 and 2, because I remember getting there pretty early. It was definitely the daytime when I got there. And so anyway, so I'm staying. So I called my sister. I'm just like, yeah, I'm at the hospital, I'm in labor, blah, blah, blah. So my sister comes and, and my stepdad comes,
So Angel was already born.
Angel was already born. Yeah. And so, Antoine and Angel was waiting in the waiting room while Ebony was in the room with me, because my sister was definitely going to be in the room with me while I had this baby, okay? Like, it was no way. I didn't actually get to be with her in the waiting room with her because well, not in the waiting room. I didn't get to be in her room because she ended up having a C-section. So I was in the waiting room. But I was like, yo, you gonna be with me, okay? Period. And so My mom was in the room. Moses was in the room. Your dad was in the room. My sister was in the room, and my stepdad was in and out of the room. He didn't really want to see all that. I don't blame him. But anyway, and so it started out where.
Surprised you didn't record. As much time you record things.
Yeah, I know. But guess who was recording? Nene. And so I was chilling. You know, I was doing pretty good. I didn't really get the epidural to kind of like the last minute because it didn't really hurt. And then next thing you know, it just felt like my booty hole was about to explode. I was just like, I just remember hollering like, my butt, my butt, my butt. And I'm like scooting down on the bed and going like this, like my butt hurts, my butt. So, and so I guess it was like a sudden outburst. And so Ebony, she like called the nurse. She was like, well, call the nurse. I guess I scared her, I think, because I'm like hollering about my butt like hurting, and I'm like scooting down out the bed. I'm just like, ah. Super dramatic, okay? I'm like, my butt hurts, and I'm like starting to hold down there. Little did I know, like, I guess I was crowning or whatever, like you were ready to come out. And so the nurse was like, oh, okay, don't push. I'm just like, but my butt. I don't know what it is about my butt. Like, it just felt like something was coming out of my booty hole, and it was just like not stopping. I'm just like, ah. And I was like traumatized, okay? Like, cause something, it ain't supposed to be coming out that end. I don't know. I don't know why I felt the sensation in my butt. I guess maybe it's because that's how it works. I really don't know. Never investigated that. So anyway, but your dad was outside. I was so upset because meanwhile, while my booty hole was getting ready to burst into flames, he was outside. He wasn't even in the room. He was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was pissed. And mind you, he wasn't even old enough to have cigarettes. He was still 17. Like, like we were still 17, so he wasn't even old enough. So I don't know where or who he got cigarettes from to go smoke, but he went outside to go smoke a cigarette. And so yeah, so my sister, I'm like, Ebony, call Moses. And then so she called him, and he comes running back up, and my mom comes running in the room, and everyone's like in there, and next thing you know, like they're throwing blankets over me. I guess your head was already like halfway out. I don't know. I don't think it was like halfway. I think you were crowning. And so I also remember them breaking my water. That just felt like a lot of hot like it felt like I peed on myself. Like a lot of hot liquid just came, like just flooded. And after they broke because my water didn't break on its own, they broke my water for me. And so it just,
how'd they break your water?
They just stuck something on there and go pop the sack
like a balloon, a needle.
Pretty much. And so it was just like a floodgates open. I'm just like, oh my god. But anyway, so yeah, so that was that. And I just remember them running in, and they threw like the blankets on me and stuff, and they were just like, don't push, because my Dr. Moss, she was actually in another room delivering another baby at that time. And so I'm just like, no, but I get my butthole, but my butt. I just kept screaming about my butt. I don't know why. And so anyway, so eventually Dr. Moss came in, and she retired, but she was a fantastic doctor. And yeah, I got to start pushing. Now, do I remember what you looked like when you came out? I do not, unfortunately. Reason being because after I finally pushed you out, I literally passed out. I remember them throwing you on top of me, and then that's it. I fainted from there because I guess my blood pressure got really high, so I pretty much passed out. And I didn't remember anything. I don't remember what happened after that. I don't remember anything. I just remember waking up in another room the next day. Yeah, so, and the next day they brought you in, and there you were, looking like a little chimp. And now you're here. I remember at the hospital though, me and your dad like got into a really, really big fight. Wow. Which was crazy. Me and your dad got in a really big fight because I don't really know. Like I don't know. Like he just was picking that day. I don't know. I guess he was stressed too. In hindsight, I guess he was stressed out because it was just like reality must have hit him It was just like, dang, I got a kid, bro, and I'm 16.
17.
Sorry. I'm like, I got a kid. Like, he real life had a whole kid, and I guess it hit him, so everything was my fault at that point. I'm just like, what? But you were all excited about this at first. I don't see how this is my fault now. And you're the one who said you knew what you were doing. Like, but anyway, yeah, so anyway, we ended up getting into a big fight. My mom was like, you guys need to separate. You need a break, blah, blah, blah. And you know you can't be fighting in here. They even took your baby from you. And I was like, and so I was just like, you know, I was like calm. I think I was actually crying because I was just like, he's yelling at me for no reason. Like, I didn't even do anything. And so, yeah. So, but that was that. That was just the tip of the iceberg that day. That it just went down here from there. Blew up. But anyway, but on the bright side, I had my baby, and yeah. And now here we are, 12 years later, working on 13. Pray for me, y'all, okay? This has been a wild journey. I'm so happy that I have you. I don't know what I would do without you, seriously.
You need me.
Kinda. I think you were sent here to save me, literally. Because, like, I was going through a lot, too, as a teen. So
I was your little distraction.
You was my little thing I didn't know I even needed. All right. You have any questions?
No.
What'd you think?
That was a weird story.
It was weird? Was it funny?
Yeah.
It had funny parts. Did it have sad parts? I hope I didn't make you upset when I said that I thought about getting an abortion.
I would have thought about it too if I was 16.
Yeah. Sit up.
But I won't be. I'll be 30. Not 30.
35.
No.
40. 55.
Never.
Never.
No. I want a child.
Okay, good. Yeah, of course. You gotta share the love, man. Just not too soon. Please, Jesus. Just tell me. Please, just tell me. Just tell me. Guys, side note, make sure you talk to your kids, okay? Don't have the conversation like me and my mom had. If I kill you, if you have sex, I'll kill you. Like, that's not a thing. Just, please, just have the conversation. It's rough, it's tough, but just do it.
It does the job.
Okay?